It's your boy Crumb King, back with the pain, always to entertain. Welcome back, gang. We got another little reaction. We're reacting to David, the newest, the latest David. Uh, call it what you want, news. I don't think this is news. I think this is like what's supposed to happen to people that do stuff like this. I don't know, but we gonna see developments. I don't know how he not behind bars. I don't know how they still find and shit. You know, like once you find a body, what else is there to find? Like it was in the car. You feel me? But we finna get into what they got for us. They finna break it down.
Around David knew various things. The DA is closing in on somebody, and I believe two people who are very close to David, the singer who is a suspect in the murder of Celeste Rivas.
Yeah, I have no hope whatsoever in this investigation. We've been hearing the DA is on his tail since about week 2. And what's happened since week 2? David has been around the world. David has been chilling. David has managed to turn over all his properties to his...
My boy went out of town. He gave his properties to his mom, put the properties in mama's name. He got ready for this fight. I ain't even gonna lie, my boy put his gloves on. Y'all let him put his gloves on? What's up with the U.S. government, bro? Y'all supposed to bend bag him. But then it's like, oh, we don't want to see a black man. If he really did that to Shorty, which the evidence is pointing towards somebody over there did that. You feel me? Retribution is in order. Y'all supposed to been put him behind bars, man. Like, just the way it shows other people that they can, if they do it right, they can prepare. You feel me? But damn, bro. We're gonna get into
Mother names. David has had ample time to prepare his defense. So we have no faith in this whatsoever. LAPD is a freaking joke. Now, there's an update on this case. Now, the update itself just makes me realize why I don't have no faith in LAPD whatsoever. Because this update, if it was anywhere else, is pretty damaging and will get that person in cuffs. But because it's LAPD and they're incompetent nincompoops, nothing is going to happen to David whatsoever. The private investigator, Steve, that was hired by the house owner,
he gave vital information. He told that the motherfucker had all kinds of evidence that they wouldn't release or they wouldn't. It got all kinds of tangled up. But they still let him leave, like, America, which is mind-boggling to me. Why would they let him leave America? Why would you be... That's a flight risk. Man, I don't know. We're going to see.
let us know a while ago that when he was initially hired, he was hired after LAPD did their raid. And he showed up to the house, and he found a treasure trove of information and evidence that LAPD didn't take with them when they conducted their search warrant. And they never came back to take these items away, even though they knew these items were there. They found it during their raids. They, quote-unquote, took pictures of it, but they never seized it into evidence whatsoever, and he couldn't understand why. Well, it looks like we finally figured out what that was and what the treasure trove of evidence is. And it didn't come from LAPD or the DA. It came from the private investigator who spitefully released it because LAPD, instead of going after David, they've been going after him. They've been subpoenaing him. They've been trying to hold him in contempt of court. They've been trying to jail him and arrest him because he's been updating the public on information. They even did the same thing to the medical examiner office.
Man, somebody paying these people to silence the situation. But, bro, justice has to be served, bro. 14-year-old girls don't deserve to, like, be scared to go outside and shit. For me, it should be easy. It should be easy, but y'all making it so long and drawn out, bro. Like, you can't jump.
Where their job is to provide transparency to the public. They have put a muzzle on a medical examiner office. Now they're going after the private investigator who's been trying to help get David locked up. So he just said, F it, bro. All right, if y'all going to come after me, I'm going to release the information. So we finally know exactly what LAPD didn't feel like was necessary to take. And we do know a search warrant, you can only take certain things, but they still had the option to go ahead and get another search warrant and come back and get, pretty damning evidence from my perspective in this David case. In a Twitter post, Steve writes, although my words have been misquoted by some, what I actually said about certain items found at the Doheny address was that they were items you would expect to find on a farm rather than a home in the Hollywood Hills. Doheny.
On a farm? Don't tell me this man had pitchforks and it keeps getting worse. Because the more this case go on, the more we find out, and the more sick it get, the more calculated this shit is, and the more easy it seems like y'all should just catch this man. But everything happens for a reason. Let's see what's the reason.
Address, if you guys are not familiar, that's the address that the Tesla was found at. Also, David's primary residence in LA. One of those items was a burn cage incinerator. Why was a burn cage at a private residence? Well, that's the question.
If I'm not mistaken, burn cage. They was finna turn Shorty into wood chips, yeah? My bad. That's a wood chipper. They finna turn Shorty into ashes. What's the running price on one of them joints?
We're all wondering. So, LAPD did a raid or did like a search warrant at the home. They found a burn cage in a home where a dead body was found in a Tesla outside. And they thought, this is not important. Let's forget about this, all right? And they never took it into evidence whatsoever. So one of those items that were found was a burn cage incinerator advertised to burn at 1,600 degrees. Human cremations are typically performed at approximately 1,400 degrees. An incinerator is not legal to use within city limits.
How'd they acquire? What was the acquisition like? And what I'm looking at here, it said that somebody tried to say it was as a prop at his house. So we doing music videos at the house now? What's the point of having a manager? You might as well go independent. You doing videos at the house? Yo. They just was trying to figure out the best way to get rid of Shorty. And this is getting freaky. Cause you was gonna be a mortician. You was finna prepare the body to be. You was finna put this little girl on the urn, bro. That's outlandish. The details are gory. Like, bro, like, what did she know that y'all is trying to cover up? Cause I promise you, we gonna find out. Damn, boy, y'all just some wickeds. Wickets.
And serves no legitimate purpose at a residential property in the Hollywood Hills. Some will argue that this item was intended as a prop for a music video. Cut it out, bruh. Cut it out, man. Those evil, sick, maniacal Fs were planning to cremate this little girl's body, bruh. Yeah, they were just waiting for the right time to take that body out, cremate it, and get it out of here, bruh. And to me, that was going to be the last stage of this murder cover-up. Because once you cremate the body, like she's already been missing for like a year. Parents don't really seem too concerned about locating her. You cremate the body, man, bro. You good? Because it don't really feel like they really have any messages that are incriminating. It don't really feel like they have any text calls, nothing at all. And the police got the body, and they still can't piece together this murder mystery. If you would have cremated her, it would have been over with, bro. All right, it's done.
This is getting more and more Scooby-Doo by the minute, bruh. If y'all don't lock somebody up for this, bro, Netflix can't drop no new series because all the dumb shit is happening in real life. Yo. They was finna smoke Shorty and then smoke Shorty. Yo. This is unbelievable. Man.
Now, yeah, some will argue this item was intended as a prop for a video. If that were the case, it raises several obvious questions. Why do a 55-pound... It is also used, not used. It appears it's not of importance to any possible criminal investigation, but we think it's important context, even if not criminal.
That motherfucker was brand new. Y'all just didn't know what to do. You just ran out of time? We should get in Scooby-Doo.
The burn, although is what it would look like. The Law and Crime YouTube channel did an interview with a detective and a law enforcement instructor, whatever that means. And even he seems pretty bewildered and confused as to why the burn cage was not of interest to LAPD. He would explain that even though the search warrant was not for the burn cage and it was very specific, they could have very easily went back and got a piggyback warrant the same day and come back and get the burn cage. So them choosing not to get the burn cage after about 3 months is kind of, confusing and incompetent.
I cannot think of a legitimate, innocent reason why a burn cage would be received at a private residence.
I don't think anybody can, Matthew, but LAPD.
Why it would be ordered under a false name. I also,
A false name? How many people you got around you? You got at least 12 people around you, bro. They all got names. A fake name gonna lead, right, bro? What? You created an alias, brother? Yo, get this sinister man. Lock him up. What the world? Nah, lock him up. Welcome to Death Row Records. It's over. This is crazy. Yo. This, like I said before, I'm getting real zoinks. This is some real jinkies. Scooby-Doo business. Aliases and burn cages. What's next, bro? If y'all ain't...
Well, let's actually just start there. Keep your thought.
Okay.
The only thing I would say is about a false name, if he's a celebrity, he doesn't want people knowing that he's staying there.
Pause. If he's a celebrity, he don't want people knowing he bought a burn cage? Maybe? Because, you want the burn cage bad enough to make a fake name. So it didn't really matter.
Thoughts?
fair enough, but if he's got a bunch of people that he's working with because he intends to use this as part of a concert tour, as part of a video, he's got a whole staff of people that can order something for him. I don't understand why he would need to do it under an assumed name. But your point is well taken. That could be an innocent explanation. But again, to Steve's points,
I figured it out. They wasn't able to use it without being noticed. So, motherfuckers had to come up with something else that delayed the plans. Like, literally, when they opened the box for the incinerator, it said, do not use indoors. These dumb motherfuckers was finna burn the house down. Oh, somebody get this me.
if that is indeed the intent for this item, why is it delivered to a private residence? Why is it not with them on tour? Why is it not taken to some location to be used for some kind of a video? That said, I also can't think of a good reason why LAPD didn't seize this item. I mean, if you're conducting an investigation into a body found in the trunk of a car, one of your working theories has got to be that this body was placed there in order to move it from the scene where the death occurred and then transport it to some third location to conceal it or dispose of it.
Isn't there like two crimes being investigated at the same time? One, the crime of murder or homicide, because they're now coming around to the idea that Celeste was murdered. that she didn't, just overdose and moved herself to the trunk of a freaking Tesla. But there's also, if murder didn't happen here, there's also abuse of a corpse, desecration of human remains. Those are other crimes that are being investigated. And you would probably be closer to that once you find out who ordered the burn cage. Because the person who ordered the burn cage is more than likely the person who, A, either David, or two, they're helping David. And if they're helping David, then they were probably the person who moved the corpse, who abused the corpse, who desecrated the human remains. And you could bring them in on some charges and make them turn against David. But if you have no interest in the burn cage, if you have no interest in who would want to order that burn cage or who ordered that burn cage, since it wasn't ordered in David's name, you can find out who did that fake name belong to, who ordered it.
That boy, Poetic Flacco was trying to. He need to go ahead and sign up for the force. He'd be lead detective, yo. I'm not gonna hold you. LAPD gotta get it together. The streets is. Oh my gosh. You got serial killers in the streets, bro. I'm not gonna even say serial killer, just killers in the streets, yo. Killing little girls, man.
Why do they order it? Those are things that I think, say they take a picture. Again, I'm not a lawyer here, people, but they take a picture and they're not in possession of the actual burn cage. Couldn't, they just say, hey, that's a prop. Hey, like what was inside the burn cage was not the actual burn cage. It was something, right? Like if you don't have an actual picture of the actual burn cage or in possession of it, it's just absurd and it's insane. And I would think that they'll be trying to keep in possession whatever evidence they have, especially when you take into consideration David and his friends are actively going out of their way to conceal and hide information and removing all digital traces as we speak. Key example.
Yeah, this little dude changed this, erased his whole, and then hopped on the internet talking about the real ones. No, some young, vague response. Bro, if you was around this while it was happening, weird. I don't want to hear nothing. You can't delete shit. Weird.
Example of this is with this dude here called Neil the Asian. This is one of like David homies. He been scrubbing his social media, bro. He done scrubbed everything. If you go to his social media, there are huge gaps of posts that he has taken down, things that he has removed. And you want to ask yourself why? Like if you have nothing to
Incrimination. That's why nigga don't want to incriminate himself. He don't even want to be associated with like Shorty name. Cause it's coming. That time is coming. Somebody finna go down for this.
why are you taking certain things down? And then come to find out, if you like go through his page, well, these are no longer there, I believe, but you see him, bro, he's posing and he's partying with Celeste. Neil is a grown man. Celeste in this picture, I believe, was about 13 years old. So he's chilling and having a good old time with Celeste. He's partying with Celeste, and it's like, yo, like, why are you guys hanging out with a 13-year-old? Where is her parents? Now, if this is a man who was with David often on a routine basis, almost daily, one of David's right-hand mans, who was around Celeste when David was very careful, or who he brought Celeste around, very careful on being seen with Celeste, especially towards the latter part of her life, then bro, this man, like, removing things from his social media, hiding things, trying to conceal things, that's very important, right? And if these people are going out of their way to hide certain things, oh, he was, like, really cool with Celeste as well, really cool, right? So if he's going out of his way to hide certain things and to conceal certain things, then shouldn't y'all also be, like, as proactive as them into revealing or uncovering certain things, or trying to hold and be, like, listen, I feel like, yo, they should be, like, hoarding evidence at this point, bro. Whatever could be seen as evidence, you hoard it, bro, because you don't know what's important and what's not, especially when they're being proactive.
If you get stuck on the melody, or if you just feel like you can't get a song started, Output's co-producer is very...
So this dweeb came back on Instagram to explain why he's been removing things from his Instagram and moving hella shady and hella suspicious. And he writes, eventually I'm going to say something, but I kind of hate forcing myself into solitude because people on the internet assume the worst in people and will make up legit anything out of nothing. So eventually I'll say something already. Love all the real people that have been kind to me and don't make false assumptions. Bro, is not...
What does that even mean? I kind of hate forcing myself into solitude because people on the internet assume the worst in people and will make up legit anything out of nothing. That is not true. While the internet is known to exaggerate, to overanalyze, to do too much per se, they not gonna make up no bull, man. That don't make no sense. You did some weird shit, and that's some weird shit, and that's that. And that's the end of that. Like, can't.
really hard to explain. Hey, bruh, I was with David. He, like, David, 5, 10, 20, 30, because
And if you're looking at the possibility that somebody is trying to dispose of a body, and you search the residence of a person of interest in that case, and you find what is essentially a home crematorium, why?
Yeah, like, the police just need to come on, man. Like, the money gonna run out. Whoever's paying them to chill, like, whoever's paying them to, like, stay off this, the money gonna run out. Ain't too much longer this gonna go on, bruh. Somebody going down for this. This is another video. Crump Gang, y'all already know it's your boy Crump Gang. Get at me.
Why don't you take that?